Hey everyone. So I know I haven't done a video in a while, whether a video recording or a live stream, in quite some time. There's just been a number of things that's been going on. Uh, so work kind of got in the way a bit, and around the time school was sort of in the way, especially during last year and during like the second half of last year, as well as the first half of this year. But it was really starting to chug along because I had around May of this year, I finally got my bachelor's degree that I've been working towards for so long. And obviously it was just a lot of things, but I was able to get through it. But lately I've just been like, I don't know, between the time of May and then August, it's just just trying to figure out what I want to do next. But these last few weeks have been kind of rough, both physically and mentally. Nothing to do with work, but I've been going through a bit of a health, not like a health crisis, but more like a health inconvenience, so to speak. So I think I started to talk about this back in 2020. I had some issues with my gut where I felt like I was constipated, even though I was passing stuff through, but I always felt like something was stuck up in my bowels, in my intestines, in my colon, and it was not fun at all. And I would try every which way. And then, and it started. It's funny enough though. It started around the same time. That time, 6 years ago. Then it started happening again. It wasn't as severe this time, but it's still an inconvenience. And lately, it's been messing with my mental health and my appetite. I've been taking some probiotics and vitamin D supplements, like I have been for years, to help sort of keep myself regulated. But I think a lot of the things I need to do is that I need to find some way to unwind and relax, and it's really hard to do that when you have to do something the next day. And it's even more hard to do that when when your environment is uncomfortable. Like, it's currently summer and we're in triple degree weather, and it's the hottest it's been ever since I've been living in this area, and it sucks. And I know I felt super comfortable back during December of last year, and I really want to be super comfortable that time again because honestly, I don't know what's going on, but I just really wish I could like get things under control. But I know it's nothing super serious because I haven't experienced anything critical, like no fever, no nausea. Well, some minor nausea, but I think that's mostly due to maybe a bit of sleep deprivation and stress, and no like blood or anything coming out in places they shouldn't be coming out of. But it's just really hard to get used to things. And overall, it's been affecting my appetite. I haven't been really into eating as much before. I'm currently 32 years old, and I know I should take better care of myself, but I try to do everything in moderation. It's just that this time of year, it's really uncomfortable, and everything was just awful, awful. And I managed, funny enough though, back in 2021, when this, after it had started, I managed to get it sort of under control by dedicating myself to every Friday taking, hang on, I think I have some of these, taking a dosage of these, like overnight laxatives. Taking something like that every Friday or Saturday if I forget. And I know people say that's probably not good. It's gonna affect yourself, and you'd be probably right. But I've been doing it for about 6 years now, and there are times where I am passing stools naturally. I'm gonna be honest. I've been passing stools naturally, although not as much as I wish they were. But I honestly feel like once the weather starts cooling down and I start getting more comfortable, I can get things back under control again. I've been talking to my dad a lot about it, and he's been kind of through this whole thing before, and he's gone through it. and I suffered through it before, and I've gotten over it. So it's only I got to keep telling myself it's only temporary, unless something is severely wrong, guys. Unless you experience something like don't be afraid to go to the doctor to see if there's anything medically wrong. I think the first time I actually went there, they couldn't really prescribe anything for me because it wasn't a real issue. But, it is what it is. And I should probably schedule a time for a physical, but all in all, and it's just been a roller coaster of things, because I remember back in 2021 when I was getting everything under control bowel-wise, I then had issues with my urinary tract. I had severe pain and irritation back in August of 2021. That was a severe issue. And then somehow I managed to get it under control by the end of 2021 and at the beginning of 2022. And managed to get through all of it by the time I had to leave my first job. And I think it was easier to deal with it when it first happened, because it was at the first full-time job that I had. And it was easily my first job was very flexible. So that's taken consideration, but all in all, this has just been affecting the appetite, affecting the mental health, and I feel like I just can't get anything done. I feel disgusted with myself, and part of me wants to, think about committing suicide, contemplating suicide, just a small part of it. And I know that's not the answer. I know this is only temporary. It's just that in the moment right now, it's awful. And I really, really wish, and I wish that my job had offers sabbatical of some kind, where maybe I can take, since it's maybe in September, since it's the start of the third quarter of the year, I could take the rest of the year off in hopes to heal myself, but I can't. I know after Labor Day weekend, I believe. Hang on, let's see if we can get my calendar up here. So Labor Day weekend, Labor Day is the 7th. So I just got to get through. So the week of the 7th, which is the Labor Day Monday, after that week, on the 13th, me and my dad are going to hop in my car and we're going to head to Galveston for a little fishing trip. We're going to be leaving on Sunday, and we're going to come back Thursday. And I asked off for that full week so that could help sort of ease up. We haven't gone to Galveston in probably over 4 years now. We went to Galveston one time just so we could have a little getaway of our own, and it was okay. Could have been slightly better, but hopefully this time it's a bit better. And I'm hoping in this week-long thing that I'm in through, that I could be able to unwind and relax, because I know when I come home Thursday, I don't have to go anywhere Friday. My hope is that throughout this year, I don't want to have to worry about anything that could upset me. And honestly, I try to keep everything positive, but I'm really hopeful some development happens to where, my very, very hope is by Thanksgiving of this year, everything will be back under control. Or by some miracle. I know this is kind of weird to say, but I wish I could trade what I'm going through now with something else, if I'm going to be honest. At this moment in time, I would rather, some minor inconvenience. I'd rather deal with chafing in my inner thighs than would deal with whatever my bowels are. But the most extreme thing, I'd rather trade my uncomfortable, urinary issue that I had, which, by the way, that happened, my urinary thing has happened more often than that. It happened back in October 2023, and it happened last year in February, around the time where I was let go from my previous job. And it kind of took me, and I was kind of dealing with it throughout the time I was unemployed, but it wasn't wasn't like, oh, I can't deal with this. I'm going to go insane. Like, nah. It went away. Or either went away or I got it under control. So I'm hoping that with this, I'm able to get it under control again. If not, then I'm going to talk to my dad, see what he recommends. I know we once considered wanting to go to a I can't remember what kind of doctor it is, a doctor to maybe do a colonoscopy, but my network or my health insurance that I was paying at the time wouldn't cover it. So, and I'm about 1 year away when I have to get like an annual colonoscopy. I mean, at this point, it should have gotten worse. It should have gotten worse, but it hasn't. So I'm guessing what happens is that there's irritation that's happening. It's a lingering effect. And I know, like, when people have like broken limb, like they have like surgery, like they have surgery or broken limbs, it takes a while for it to fully heal. I know my dad had like leg surgery one time, and he had to go, like, it took him like maybe not a long time, but a good amount of time to him to finally like get healed up again. But yeah, guys, I'm remaining hopeful. I am hopeful that I can get through this. I just don't want something bad to happen. And if anything bad happens to me, I want people to understand it's just that just remember me who I was. And understand is that to get help. I know, and people ask me, well, you did get over it before. Yeah, and I remember that. In fact, I remember I was very kind of like maybe 80% over it by the time December 2020 came around. And I remembered that because that was a special December for me. Because that was when Cyberpunk came out. And that's when I had an extended time of working from home. Because it was the 20th of, I think it was the 20th of December. It was close to the time we would start working from home. But then one of my coworkers ended up hearing that his girlfriend caught COVID and he was with her over the weekend. So first it started with our whole building losing power. So we went to go home and work from home. Then we heard that the coworker's girlfriend had COVID. So he was with her, and he was with her over the weekend, and then he was with me through a good portion of the day. So I was told by my boss to say, okay, so for the rest of this year, just go work from home. And I said, just quarantining yourself until you can get a COVID test. But all in all, guys, and then I managed to get through all of that, and then I didn't. And here's the thing: I didn't start doing the laxatives until maybe March. Because I remember the one time I took those laxatives, the very first time, it was on a Sunday, but it was a February Sunday of 2021, the day before we had rolling blackouts. And let me tell you something. When I took those laxatives, and by later in the evening, I was like, and had to go a lot. And then that's what I always kept taking. And for some reason, it always worked. And even when I had my urinary issue, I still took it. All in all, guys, you got to understand is that, yes, when you get older, you have to watch what you consume. But at the same time, unless something severely happens, don't think it lasts forever. I know this isn't going to last forever. It can't last forever. It's impossible for it to last forever. It may last for a little bit of while, but it won't last forever. All right? You can get through it. So, I guess, what does that mean? What does this all have to do with me and this channel? Oh, I'm still going to post stuff. I was hoping to do some stuff this last weekend, but, it got away from me. And then, of course, this weekend I was dog sitting, so I couldn't really do much of anything for that. So I'm not sure if I'll be doing anything for if I don't do anything, for this weekend, either there are only two possibilities that could happen. I will probably do a streaming, not a streaming, but a recording of Uncharted again while I'm in Galveston. And if I don't do anything during that week or by that weekend, don't expect anything to really be uploaded gameplay wise or gaming wise until November. I need to get back into this habit again now that now that I don't have any school going on, and to really keep myself motivated. But all in all, guys, there's just a lot of things that's going on between now and the rest of this year. I know, right before Labor Day weekend, we're gonna get 2 new games. One of them is called Blood of the Dawnwalker, which is made by CD Projekt Red, who made the Witcher series, which I played a shit ton of back in 2020. And then there's also Onimusha Way of the Sword, which I played the demo of, and I was really excited for that. So all in all, guys, you gotta there's something you gotta understand about your health. Unless, of course, if you really need to go to the doctor, go to the doctor. But understand is that it's not forever. Nothing's something like, unless it is something severely devastating that causes you a lot of pain, like high fever, vomiting, blood, anything like that, it can't last forever. It is impossible for it to do that. The chances are it's going to go away. You just but you can't just do nothing about it. You kind of have to assert yourself. So I've been trying to maybe keep myself hydrated and also kind of watch what I eat for a bit, and also go exercising. But that's kind of what I've been doing. So it's just depressing, especially on a Sunday, because, I got to go to work the next day. But all in all, guys, I hope y'all are doing well, and hope to see you guys next time. Take care. God bless.